Okay, welcome to the second part of this. We're going to look from questions 7 to 12 now. And these do get progressively harder. So take your time, pause the video where you need to pause it, rewind it, etc., etc. Do what you know you need to do in order to get it right. So again here, we want to find the volume of this pyramid. We've got the slant height, we've got that, so I need to draw the triangle. And so that's my triangle. You'll get used to doing it in the end, how it all works. So I know that the slant height there is 25. We call this the hypotenuse. So I know that, and that length there is going to be half the 14. So that is 7. So what I now need to do is I need to square 25, which comes to 625. I need to square the 7, which is 49. And I want to find a shorter side. So I'm going to subtract those two from each other. And you can use a calculator if you want to. I'm taking away 50, so you can do that. That comes to 576. And if I square root 576, I should get to 24. So square root the answer, I get 24. So the perpendicular height is 24. Once I've got that, then all I have to do is fill the formula in, which I've got down here. So the volume is going to be a third times the base. Again, it's a square. So it'd be 14 squared times the height, 24. And so if you did that, you should come out with the answer, which I did this one earlier, and it comes out as 1,568. And lastly, on this section, we're going to come to question 8. As you can see, I've got a little triangle already drawn out there. So what I'm going to do is literally just copy that triangle out again. It's always good drawing out the triangles. And this time I'm going to draw it this way. I don't normally do it this way. That points at the hypotenuse, the longest side. We call that 61. And now this distance is half that. That's 22, so half that is 11. So now I need to work out a shorter side. So to do that, I need to square 61. So 61 squared. That comes as a massive number. And then I'm going to take away 11 squared. So actually, I'm going to just, on my calculator, go like this. 61 squared minus 11 squared. And the advantage of this is that I'm not tempted to make rounding up errors if they ever came about. Now this length here, because it's a shorter one I take away, the area is 3600, and I can see that if I square root, you can sort of work out what it's going to be, can't you? So if I square root that answer, you can see it's 60. So that height is 60. Now that I've got that, it's a case of just following the formula again, which is a third times base times perpendicular height. So it's a third, it's a square again. So it's 22 squared times 60. And if you did all of that, you come out at 9,680. So that's your volume of that pyramid. Now we're going to get to the last set of 4 questions. And because some of these are more involved, I've made it this way here. So it's slightly easier for us to see how it works out. In this question, it wants just the area of the base. Now, a pyramid is simply something with a base that goes up to a point. And so I want the area of this. This is a hexagonal, 6-sided, so you call it a hexagonal-based pyramid. I want the area. If it gives me the volume, so I now have got the volume, how do I work out the area? The best way to do this, I find, is to write out the formula. We've got it out down the bottom here. So the formula is a third times the base times the perpendicular height. Now fill in the things you know. And that's a real good way of doing this. Fill in everything you know. I know the volume is 232. And I know a third. I don't know the area, so I'm called base. So that's what I'm asked to find. But I know the perpendicular height is 12. So what I'm going to do now is just solve this. I can solve the numbers here. A third times 12 is 4. So I know it's 4 times the base. Now to get rid of the times by 4, you've got it. Divide both sides by 4. So I know the base is going to be 232 divided by 4. And if you did that on your calculator, you should come out with 58. I'm not asked to work out the lengths, just the area, 58. Right, let's get to question 10. I want to work out here what the radius is, the distance from the centre to the edge. Now I know the volume is that, so again, I'm writing out the formula. And I'm going to quickly go through this. You can see what I'm going to do. That's 938 times a third. Now the base is a circle, pi r squared times 14. So what I'm going to do here, to help you understand how to do this, I need to get rid of a third. I need to get rid of times by 14. So what I'm actually going to do in this particular case is I'm going to write, I know the end answer is 938. To get rid of divide by 3 here, I'm going to times this by 3. To get rid of times by 14, the opposite is divide by 14. So I'm going to do that, and I get 201. So I know that pi r squared equals 201. So again, I'm going to do, just on my calculator, I haven't rounded up, I haven't done anything, kept it in there. I want to get rid of the pi, so I'm going to divide, because at the moment it's by times, I'm going to divide by pi, so let's shift there. And that gets me what r squared equals, roughly 64. So I know that r squared is 63.98 dot dot dot. So I square root that, and they only want it to the whole number, so I can see that it's going to be 8. So that has a radius of 8. And finally, these two questions, and let's see what we can do with these two questions. Here they give me the volume, and what I want to work out is the dimension, and they say it's a square base, so I want to work out what the dimension of the square is. So again, write out the formula. Okay, makes life a lot easier. Volume equals a third times the square base. Let's call that x if you want. So it's x squared times the perpendicular height, 8. And I know the volume here is 384. As you can see, I'm mixing it straight in. So here goes 384 equals a third x squared times 8. So what I do, get my calculator, make sure you clear it all, and then go 384, get rid of the divide by 3 by timesing by 3, get rid of the times by 8 by dividing by 8, and that gets me 144. So I know that x squared, the area of the base is 144, so therefore x is the square root of 144, 12. And finally, frustrum. Frustrum. This little fella here, underneath here, is a frustrum. It is like a pyramid with the top chopped off. Okay, so that's called a frustrum. I actually want here, I want to work out what the volume of this little mini pyramid is. If they say that this total height, if the little pyramid is half the total height, how do I work out what the volume here is? Well, quite a challenging question. Let me go through. Firstly, I want to work out the total height. I know that the volume is a third times base times perpendicular height. I know that the volume is 360, so it's times a third times the base times, and the base actually is 36. So I know it's 36, which means that it's a third times 36 is 12. So that is 12 times h. So I know the total height is 360 divided by 12. 30. So I know the total height is 30, which means that this little height, because it's half of it, is going to be 15. There's one more thing you need to know, and this is the thing that really gets it. If I was to draw it out like this is the total height, okay? Watch. If that is 36 and it's a square, then that means it's 6. So the whole width across there is 6, which means half of it is going to be 3. That's going to be 3 across there. Because if that is 6, and 6 times 6 is there, that's going to be 3. And so what you need to understand, therefore, if that is 3, that width is going to be half of that, 1.5. So that little fella there is going to be 1.5. If this area is 36 and it's a square, this will be 6, and therefore that's 1.5. And I know that is 15 there. So the volume here is going to be a third times, and it's a square. So that's 1.5. Then I know that it's actually going to be a dimension of 3. 3 times 3, 3 squared. And then I'm going to times it by the perpendicular height, 15. And so that's how you do that. It's really neat, isn't it? 3 squared is 9, a third of 9 is 3, 3 15s, 45. Boom. Complicated. So go over this, look at it, check it out, see what we did. But there you go. Really neat. And I think you might notice something between 45 and 360 as well. There is a relationship there that you could try and explore. So there you go. Hope you found this interesting.